Welcome to the April 22nd meeting of the Oceanside City Council. I'd like to ask our city clerk to call roll, please.
Mayor Sanchez.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Joyce.
Present.
Councilmember Figueroa.
Present.
Councilmember Robinson. Councilmember Weiss.
Thank you. Please rise for the invocation. Tonight we have Pastor John Tejas from Coastline Baptist Church. Pastor Tejas.
Thank you very much. Let's bow for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you. We're grateful for this community that we get to call home. Beautiful Oceanside. We thank you for the people, the families, the businesses, the organizations that make up this great community that we get to live in. And as we come tonight for this council meeting, I pray that you would bless our time together. And thank you for everyone who came out to participate in local government and this democracy in front of us, and we're grateful for this opportunity. I pray that you be with each of our council members. I pray that you be with Jimmy Figueroa, Eric Joyce, our mayor, Esther Sanchez, Rick Robinson, and Peter Weiss. I pray that you give them all a spirit of humility and give them wisdom, give them courage. And I ask that as conversations and deliberations and decisions are made, that we would reflect your values. I pray that you would be with everything that will be discussed tonight, and I pray that you give us guidance as we seek to honor you, and I pray that you would be with our city and be with our first responders and all those who make Oceanside the great community that it is, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing. Deputy Mayor Joyce, would you please lead us in the pledge?
All right, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We've got several proclamations and presentations this evening. Really, really exciting. First, I'd like to go ahead and do the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Payom Kawicham, the people of the West, as the traditional land caretakers of the land on which Oceanside is built and its surrounding traditional cultural landscapes. Today, the Payom Kawicham are known as Luiseño and are made up of 7 bands: La Jolla, Palapalma, Pechanga, Rincon, San Luis Rey, and Saboba. We are mindful of the indigenous peoples in this place, and we pay our respects to the Luiseño, past, present, and emerging. We are grateful to have the opportunity to be part of this community in Luiseño territory and to honor their history, culture, and perseverance of spirit. Thank you. Actually, I would like to ask our city clerk to do something very special tonight, a swearing-in ceremony for 10 new firefighters who just completed the fire academy and are going to be working for the City of Oceanside.
It is my honor to be swearing in this fine group of firefighters to the City of Oceanside. And if family want to take photos, you're more than welcome to. I'm trying to get off to the side so I'm not in the line of vision for all the cameras here. So we're going to do something a little bit differently. I do this with every swearing in. Usually when I say I state your name, everybody says their name at the same time. But what I want you to do is a roll call of your name, starting from here all the way down, so everybody could hear all of our brand new firefighters, all right? So raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Dakota Rooney. I, Justice Swindle. I, Jared Alton. I, Mike Nirvana. I, Jeremy Murphy. I, Edgar Romero. I, Sean Kinsey. I, Jordan Williams. I, Larry Crowe. I, Collier.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations.
Well, hold on. If you could hold on, because I think the council members would like to shake your hands as well, along with the chief, right? And so, council, can you please join me down here? Yeah, this is not a break. This is a time to be joyous and thankful that we have 10 new firefighters for the City of Oceanside. They look fantastic. So let's go ahead and shake their hands, and then we're going to have a group photo. Is that all right with the council? Okay. Thank you. We now have a very, very special presentation, and that is a proclamation in honor of Lucas Taub for acts of heroism and life-saving. Can our lifeguards come down here and help us with this? And Lucas, come on down. Yeah. Thank you, Lucas. Well, I'm sure you heard about this, something that happened in our harbor. It was all over the news. There was a little girl, how old was she?
6 years old.
6 years old, on the edge of the beach, and then a wave came over. This is where there's a riptide, and basically swept her away, and her dad went after her, and then unfortunately he was having trouble, so guess who stepped in? Yeah. So first I have a proclamation, and then I'm going to hand over the mic. Proclamation in honor of Lucas Taub for acts of heroism and life-saving. Whereas on Sunday, March 15th, an emergency developed near the South Jetty where a young girl became caught in a dangerous rip current, and her father entered the water in an attempt to rescue her. And whereas both individuals were placed in immediate peril due to hazardous ocean conditions and the powerful forces of the rip current. And whereas Lucas Taub, recognizing the imminent danger, acted without hesitation and with exceptional courage by jumping from the South Harbor Jetty into the ocean to render aid. He was teaching a surfing class at the time. And whereas, through decisive action, strength, and determination, Lucas Taub successfully reached both victims and assisted them safely back to the jetty. And whereas his selflessness and heroic actions in a critical moment directly resulted in the preservation of 2 lives. And whereas such bravery, initiative, and willingness to place oneself at risk for others reflects the highest ideals of public service, community responsibility, and the life-saving tradition of the coastal community, the Oceanside Fire Department and its lifeguard division. And whereas in recognition of this extraordinary act, Lucas Taub has been selected to receive the Fred Pimentel Life-Saving Award, honoring his courage and commitment to the preservation of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Sanchez, on behalf of the City of Oceanside, do hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2026 as Lucas Taub Day in the City of Oceanside. Recognizing and honoring Lucas Taub for his extraordinary heroism and life-saving actions, extending our deepest appreciation for his courage and commitment to the safety and well-being of others. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Oceanside proudly commends Lucas Taub as an example of the strength, character, and selflessness that define our coastal community. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Here we go.
Tyler Berry, lifeguard captain. Thank you all for being here. Yes, on behalf of the Oceanside Fire Department, the lifeguard division, and marine safety for the city, we were very lucky to have Lucas on the jetty that day. We'd like to award him the Fred Pimentel Life-Saving Award for heroic and selfless action on March 15th, 2026. When you jumped from the South Jetty to rescue a young girl caught in a rip current, and her father who had entered the water attempting to save her. Lucas's decisive action, your decisive actions in a life-threatening situation brought both safely to the jetty and saved their lives. I know a few of you saw the video. It was taken to heart, and Lucas, I can't thank you enough.
David Parsons, Fire Chief, and so I want to just speak directly to Lucas and say thank you for being a member of this community and having the fortitude, the courage to do what you did. In the fire department, we talk about leadership at all levels. When we have a person who's been in the department for 1 month and they wear this patch, we know the community expects a lot out of that. But what I see in this community, and what I'm really proud, I'm a resident here and a proud member of this department, is I see people like Lucas who expresses leadership just as a community member, and people that show up here and speak at council are leaders at all levels as well. So Lucas, to you, thank you. Thank you for teaching people how to surf and being safe in the ocean, and thank you for being there. You know, we have a great staff, but sometimes we're not everywhere all at once, and it takes people like Lucas in this community to help keep everybody safe. So congratulations and thank you. Thank you.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say I am greatly honored to be here. Greatly honored to be receiving this award from the City of Oceanside. It just goes to show that we should be taking care of one another as human beings. And if we see something, you know, act out and lend a helping hand, because at the end of the day, we're all truly put on this earth for one reason, and that's to love one another. And we're all equal, right? So that's my little say for today is, you know, help when you can.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. We're gonna do a picture. We're gonna do a picture. Oh, council, come on down. Yeah, let's move a little bit this way. Thank you, thank you. Wow. Now is Mayor's Business Spotlight. We have Dominic's Italian Restaurant we're going to be honoring tonight. Come on down, Dominic. And Vanessa from the Chamber of Commerce. I have to get you down here to see you again, Dominic. I have to come on by and have some more of your wonderful pizza.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. First time.
Thank you. Yes. Well, you know, Dominic is a fixture in the harbor. He has been around how many years?
25 years.
25 years here in the harbor for City of Oceanside. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. He's always got some warmth and just welcomes everybody and just loves what he does. And you can feel that. You walk into his restaurant and you can feel that instantly. So we do have a plaque and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give the mic to Vanessa and she's gonna present it.
Thank you, Mayor Esther Sanchez. I just wanted to say a few words about Dominic. So as Mayor Esther Sanchez mentioned, he's been in business for 25 years. Not only that, he's also been a chamber member for 25 years. So he stayed loyal to the chamber, supporting us. And I've only been at the chamber for about 4 years, and I've never met Dominic, and I met him last week. And we just connected right away, and we're gonna take him under our wing because we got a little disconnected for a little bit because he's so busy running his restaurant. We're gonna take him under his wing and he's gonna be supporting a bunch of events. We're gonna be supporting his restaurant. So we'd love to invite you guys actually to his opening, or sorry, not his opening, my apologies, his celebration of 25 years on May 19th. So next month we'll be celebrating him and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about it. But we really love to see the community come out and support him. I'm gonna give it up to him right now, but we're gonna present him with this award. And before I do that, I wanna let you say a few words.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, you guys. Like I said, I'm here in Oceanside for 25 years, all in the harbor, but I live in Oceanside since 1991. And I came from Brea, Orange County, and when I see Oceanside, I love with the city. And I'm still here for the same 34 years. So anyhow, like I said, I'll be 25 years in Oceanside, in the harbor, and represent Dominic's Italian Restaurant in the harbor, and I hope I see so many faces in my place someday. And I said thank you for everybody supporting me for 25 years, and I love you all.
To another 25 years.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
That is now your award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you. We're gonna get a picture, right? And I'm gonna have to, where is everybody gonna be on May 19th? Dominic! Bye. Thank you. All right. We now have, isn't that fantastic? Employee Recognition Awards. So come on down. Who's going to start this off?
I will. If I can have also council members, elected officials, and department directors, please line up in the center. Good evening, Mayor Sanchez, council members, department directors, and audience. On behalf of the Human Resource Department and the City of Oceanside, we would like to present our 2026 First Quarter Service Award recipients who have reached the milestone of 20 years of service or more. When I call your name, please come forward. Scott Garrett. Scott Scott was hired on January 1st, 2006 as a police officer in the police department, to which he served for 9 years before being promoted to police sergeant in July 2015. Scott was then promoted to police lieutenant in December 2021 and again in December 2023 to his current position as police captain. Captain Garrett graduated from the FBI National Academy in March of 2024. His commitment and leadership to the department and the community goes above and beyond, with Captain Garrett serving in multiple roles within the department, such as Watch Commander, Support Operations Division, Patrol Division, Investigations Division, Field Evidence Technician Program, Body-worn Camera Program, Family Protection Sergeant, SWAT Team Leader, Internal Investigations, Personnel Standards Unit, City Encampment Ordinance, OPD Rescue Team, and the Chronic Offender Program. We thank you, Captain Scott Garrett, for your continued service to the community. Daniel Carr. Daniel began his career with the City of Oceanside Fire Department as a firefighter paramedic on January 2nd, 2006. In 2019, Daniel was awarded Firefighter of the Year from the Veterans of Foreign Wars. He was promoted to captain in the Honor Guard in 2022 and captain in North Zone Honor Guard in 2023. Daniel has been a true professional and always represents himself and the department with pride, commitment, and professionalism. Join me in congratulating Daniel for 20 years of service. Wesley McGee. Wesley was hired on January 2nd, 2006 with the Oceanside Fire Department as a firefighter paramedic. He promoted to fire engineer in April 2011, fire captain in April 2015, and to fire battalion chief in August 2022. Battalion Chief McGee consistently demonstrates a high level of accountability in all aspects of his position. His leadership promotes trust, teamwork, and open communication within the department. Congratulations, Battalion Chief Wesley McGee. Timothy Scott. Timothy was hired as a firefighter paramedic on January 2nd, 2006 with the Oceanside Fire Department, to which he served until he was promoted to fire captain in March 2015. Timothy then promoted to battalion chief in September 2019. Battalion Chief Scott has continued to serve the community as having an active role in the Strategic Planning Committee, Wellness Committee, OFA Executive Board Treasurer, ACLS CPR Department Instructor, EMS Committee, REACH, as well as serving in the Fleet and Facilities Division. Battalion's Chief Scott is a valuable and critical part of the Oceanside Fire Department and leadership team. We thank you, Battalion Chief Timothy Scott, for your continued service to the community for 20 years. Donna Treviso. Donna began her employment with the City of Oceanside on January 17th, 2026 as a Customer Account Representative 1. During her 20 years of service to the city, Donna has been a strong contributor to the work team, which has aided in her promotions as Customer Account Representative 2 in 2007, Customer Account Representative in February 2010, Customer Service Supervisor in October 2014, Revenue Operations Supervisor in July 2023, and to her current position as Financial Services Division Manager on November 26, 2023. Donna's proactive approach, ability to drive key projects, and reliable leadership have made her an invaluable asset to the organization. Thank you, Donna, for your hard work and dedication. Prather. Scott was hired as an Information Systems Specialist 2 on March 20th, 2006. Over the last 20 years, Scott has held several positions within the Information Technologies Department, such as Information Systems Analysis 1, 2, 3, and 4, a Public Safety Systems Liaison, Senior Information Technologies Analyst, and now his current position as Information Technologies Division Manager. Scott is an inspirational leader who is continually working to motivate his staff and provide an environment in which they can grow. He exhibits great leadership, guidance, direction, and wisdom to the team. Thank you, Scott, for 20 years of dedication to the City of Oceanside. The following recipients have also reached 20 years of service. Although they are not able to attend tonight's presentation, we would like to acknowledge Gary Kababa, Brian Capania, David Estrada, Corey Hawk, David Hoffman, Marshall Minot, Ryan Robinson, Justin Romano, James Smith, Marcus Woods, William Holder, Jocelyn Reyes, and Lisa Monarchio. Please join in a round of applause for 20 years of service. Next, we have 25 years of service. Isaac Richardson. Isaac was hired on December 11th, 2000 as a Maintenance Worker 1 in the Water Utilities Department Sewer Division. He then promoted to Utility Worker 1 in 2003, Utility Worker 2 in 2004, and to his now position as a Utility Worker 3 in September 2007. Isaac is always eager to help and available when his team needs him. His responsiveness to the public and reputation with his peers is commendable. His confidence in his vocational skills and knowledge make him a great asset to the city. Thank you, Isaac, for your hard work and dedication for 25 years. Tonio Terhune. Tonio began employment on December 11th, 2000 as a Maintenance Worker 1 in the Water Utilities Department Sewer Division. In 2003, he was promoted to Utility Worker 1, and again in 2005 to his current position as a Utility Worker 2. Tonio has developed a strong skill set across a wide range of operations, from stations and air valves to confined space work, vector and rotor operations. His level of knowledge is invaluable and continues to be a key asset to the department and sewer division. Congratulations, Tonio, on 25 years. Kayoko Speck. Kayoko was hired on January 22nd, 2001 as a library clerk in the city library. In 2004, she became a library clerk 2. In July 2013, Kayoko was promoted to her current position as a library technician. Kayoko's contributions exceed expectations every day in her work, her attitude, and her interactions with the community and her team. She continues to be a valued employee and colleague. Kayoko has made the library an enjoyable place to work and visit for all. Join me in congratulating Kayoko for 25 years of service to the city and community. Valentina Costello. Valentina started her service with the City of Oceanside in March 2001 as a Community Resource Center assistant in the Neighborhood Services Department. Valentina served in this position until July 2010 when she was promoted to the Office Specialist 1, then Office Specialist 2 in 2012. Valentina contributes to the housing team by her knowledge in housing programs and her ability to direct customers and team members in the program process. We thank you, Valentina, for your continued support and commitment to the City of Oceanside. The following recipients have also reached 25 years of service, although they were not able to attend tonight's presentation. We acknowledge Donald Kiefer, Jimmy Bermudez, Thomas Hansen, Billy Weiss, Luis Chavez, Isaac Alvarez, and William Reddy. Please join me in a round of applause for our 25-year service award recipients. Now, with an outstanding achievement of 40 years of service with the City of Oceanside, we would like to call John Berry Jr. John began his career on May 20th, 1985 with the City of Oceanside Water Utilities Department as a maintenance worker 1. Throughout his service years, John has held the position of maintenance worker 2, maintenance lead worker, maintenance specialist, cross-connection control technician, and his current role as a senior cross-connection control technician. John has high level of professionalism that projects positively to the distribution team and the public. He leads by example. He is extremely reliable, supportive, and trustworthy. John has a wealth of knowledge and history that he willingly shares with the team. He continues to be a tremendous benefit and will remain a valuable asset to the division, department, and the city. We thank you, John Berry, for your continued dedication and commitment to the community and the City of Oceanside for 40 years. On behalf of the City of Oceanside, congratulations to everyone recognized this evening. We thank you for your continued commitment to our community, and that concludes tonight's service awards.
Okay, last proclamation. Inez.
She's coming.
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Be still. I'm here with two really great members of the City of Oceanside Commissions. Inez Williams, who is the chair of the Housing Commission, and Satya Austin, who's with the CRC Community Relations Commission. They also are very involved with the NAACP of North San Diego County. And Satya asked me, she called, and basically talked about an incident that happened in Carlsbad and asked that we do this proclamation in honor of the City of Oceanside's commitment to non-discrimination, anti-harassment, and anti-bullying. Whereas City of Oceanside is committed to fostering a safe, inclusive, and equitable environment for all residents, visitors, and employees. And whereas bullying, harassment, and discrimination based on race, color, ethnicity, national origin, immigration status, religion, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, disability, age, or any other protected characteristic undermine the dignity, safety, and well-being of individuals and our community. And whereas public spaces, including parks, libraries, transit areas, sidewalks, beaches, and civic facilities must remain accessible and welcoming environments free from intimidation, hostility, and harm. And whereas the city acknowledges that bullying and harassment in public spaces can have lasting psychological, emotional, and physical impacts, especially on youth, seniors, and historically marginalized communities. And whereas the city recognizes its responsibility to lead with integrity by promoting education, prevention, accountability, and community-based solutions to address and reduce incidents of bullying and harassment. And whereas the city seeks to align with best practices and reaffirm regional commitments to non-discrimination and anti-bullying efforts, including actions recently advanced by neighboring jurisdictions such as the Carlsbad City Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Sanchez, on behalf of the Oceanside City Council, do hereby reaffirm our unwavering commitment to non-discrimination and anti-harassment and anti-bullying protections in all public spaces within the City of Oceanside. Declare that bullying, harassment, and discrimination of any kind will not be tolerated in public spaces, and affirm that everyone has the right to participate in community life without fear, intimidation, or harm. City of Oceanside's zero tolerance workplace bullying prevention and harassment, discrimination, retaliation prevention policies are codified in the City of Oceanside's Administrative Directive, AD 67 and AD 43 respectively. I urge the city manager to direct city departments to review, strengthen, and implement these policies, practices, and training that promote respectful engagement, cultural competency, and proactive intervention in instances of bullying or harassment. I encourage community education and awareness efforts to promote kindness, inclusion, and bystander accountability, including partnerships with schools, community organizations, and advocacy groups. Support data-informed strategies to monitor and address incidents of bullying and harassment in public spaces, ensuring transparency and continuous improvement. And affirm the city's commitment to equity and justice, recognizing that protecting the most vulnerable members of the community strengthens the safety and well-being of all. I call upon residents, businesses, educators, and community leaders to join in this commitment by actively fostering a culture of respect, dignity, and inclusion across all public spaces.
The mic is serious. So I know some of you might be thinking, why is this necessary? And you may think, oh, we have so many laws where you feel like, we've been protected. It's gonna mean something to that little girl who was cornered, who had no support. It's gonna mean something to some of those people right now who feel like their voice is not being heard. So I thank you for supporting this, and I hope we're gonna continue further. And I look forward to the work we're gonna do.
Thank you. We're going to memorialize this with a picture with all council members to join, if we can, please. Thank you. Yeah, I've asked Satya, because I think maybe some folks didn't hear about what happened in Carlsbad, in a park, open space in Carlsbad. Would you do that, Satya? Sure.
So in February, a young lady was lured to the park in Poinsettia Park. And during luring that, thinking that she was with her friends, they actually cornered her, which went viral because it was being recorded. A lot of these incidents are happening, but they're not recorded. This one was, they tried to goad each other to hit her. Finally, someone did slap her, and so she decided to fight to defend herself, where someone else jumped in. They all bullied her and jumped her. She was on her bike. But she knew that she had been facing some other things during school, and she felt the school didn't do anything about it. So she was really concerned about that. And now the mother has to take her child out of school. Some of the people who came to the Carlsbad School District meeting and the City Council, they were speaking up for her, and they've been now bullied as well. So they've been going to their door, they've been looking them up on social media, throwing rocks at her door, where now she has to move as well. This should not be tolerated with anybody, but look at the impact because it was viral. Look at those who are not having videos to help them out. We have engaged the support of the district attorney. There are 10 kids that have been identified. There are charges that are looking to see exactly what can happen, so that's the most I can say now, but it's being handled. But because the community said something, they stood up, they showed up, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Closed session report, Mr. Burt?
Thank you, Mayor. The council met earlier today in closed session on item 1, conference with labor negotiator, specific reference to Oceanside Marine Safety Employees Association. No reportable action at this time under the Brown Act. On item 2, council met in closed session on sub A regarding potential initiation of litigation, 1 case. No reportable action at this time. And then significant exposure to litigation, 1 case. Facts and circumstances are not yet known to potential plaintiffs and need not be disclosed. No reportable action.
Thank you. Now to the consent calendar, but first I'm going to notify that we have had a few items that have been pulled. Item number 16 on the consent calendar, also item number 17 under general items. That will be recalendared for a later time, I believe about 30 days. And then under the 6 o'clock time certain calendar, public hearing, item number 20 has been continued to May 20th, 2026. So as to our consent calendar, items number 3 through 15, are there any requests to pull?
We have a request to pull item number 6.
All right. Is there a motion for the balance?
I have a request to pull one more item, the item 15.
Which one?
15.
Okay.
And then I have a point of information about item number 17.
Okay, so we're going to do the
And I'd like to pull 12.
12. Okay. We're on the consent calendar. So is there a motion for the balance?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Okay, item number 17 has been continued, and staff will be bringing it back. item number 17. Item number 17 has been continued. Now, as to those items that were pulled, item number 6, staff recommends that the city council approve a contract change order to the construction contract with Ford's Construction, Inc. for the rectangular rapid flashing beacons and light emitting diodes stop signs project in the amount of $99,152 for a total purchase order amount of $799,952. Authorize the city engineer to execute the contract change order and authorize the financial services director or designee to execute the change order. Mr. Jimmy Knott.
Mayor, council members, Jimmy Knott, 127 Cherry Lane. Talking about the improvement of quality of life. And this is one area where informing the public or educating the public can help out. And putting the light emitting diodes, warning flashing lights, really helps out. You know, like crossing the street or putting up information signs and informing them. And as an example, we have high impacted areas, Coast Highway, down near where I live, down the dip. You have also Oceanside Boulevard now with a high impact area with the housing construction that's going on in other areas of the city. I would encourage you to follow and put flashing warning signals and beacons in those areas to help educate people to slow down and preserve life and quality of life so that people can take and respect one another. And if there's other bits of information that you feel is appropriate, to communicate those bits of items as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
All right. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
All right, item number 12 is staff recommends city council accept and appropriate donations totaling $103,300 to be disbursed through 2026 from the Friends of the Oceanside Public Library awarded to the city to support library services. Member Weiss.
Mayor, I just wanted to highlight that this is another $100,000 from the Friends to the Library, and if you look at the staff report, that they average about $100,000 a year that they donate to the library. So I just wanted to highlight the Friends and all the work they do and the money they raise to help support our library. And with that, I'll move approval.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. And thank you so much, Friends of the Library.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Okay, item number 15. Staff recommends city council approve the recommendations of the Oceanside Inland Rail Trail feasibility study. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. I just wanted to give staff a second to talk about this. It's a really big deal for our city, and it's been a long time coming. First started in 1995. So I just wanted to ask if staff could give a general overview for the public to have an update on it.
Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council members, my name is Luis Cardenas, Associate Engineer out of the Engineering Division. So this item is regarding the Inland Rail Trail here in Oceanside. We have been working on a feasibility study. I first want to start by providing some background on the entire trail as it is. Like Deputy Mayor mentioned, this trail stems back to a 1995 Memorandum of Understanding between the cities of Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, Escondido County, and NCTD. The trail is mostly completed east of Oceanside at the moment, with a segment between North Drive and Civic Center and Vista still under construction and moving eastward. So the Oceanside Inland Rail Trail is the final 7-mile segment of the 21-mile trail that's being proposed. It will provide connectivity to each of the 6 sprinter stations in Oceanside, business, industrial, and medical centers, and to nearby neighborhoods, and recreation. The goal of the study is to develop an alignment concept and outline next steps for the implementation of the study and for it to be constructed. The feasibility study was funded by Caltrans planning grant and local match funds for a total of about $500,000. As part of the feasibility study, we had 3 total public outreach rounds in which we completed an in-person workshop, we did pop-up events, we conducted online surveys, we installed 10 sidewalk decals with QR codes installed across the city. Those QR codes would direct the public to the project website, which provided more information on the project. We also mailed 9,000 mailed postcards to nearby residences at a 0.5 radius from the trail alignment. And then all materials were in English and in Spanish as well. In addition, we also put together a community advisory board, which included the City of Vista, County of San Diego, Friends of Corazon, Caltrans, NCTD, Sandag, Oceanside Bike and Pedestrian Committee, Oceanside Parks and Rec Committee or Commission, Oceanside Arts Commission, San Diego Ray Band of Mission Indians, and the Vista Community Clinic. So through all this public outreach, we narrowed it down to 5 points that we consistently heard from the public. Those were that they wanted a low-stress trail, they wanted connectivity and accessibility to the trail along the entire length of the trail, they wanted family-friendly design, they wanted amenities and comfort across the entire trail, and they also wanted scenic and natural alignment. In this conceptual alignment and the feasibility study, we encompass all those public comments that we received. We made sure to address them all and have those be the items that we focus on as we develop the alignment. We also, I do want to highlight that most of the trail is within NCTD right-of-way along the Sprinter line. This will allow us to make use of the right-of-way and maximize that space that is utilized. We are considering the double tracking project that NCTD has in the works. So in case the trail does go in before the double tracking project, we are providing sufficient space for them to do that project in the future. For ease of delivering the project into construction, we have broken down the project into 8 segments. Those segments were broken down based on common features that would be presented to us by the topography, accessibility to neighborhoods, environmental impacts that may be present. And then also we wanted to make sure that the feasibility study was a grant-ready report that would then allow us to move forward with pursuing grants for final design and construction grants, whether that's federal, local, state, regional, and of course any other sources. So for the item tonight, we are requesting City Council to approve the recommendations that the feasibility study provides. Like I mentioned just right now, this will allow us to then move forward with pursuing grants for subsequent design and construction phases. And of course, that will allow us to close the current Caltrans grant that we have at the moment. So yeah, with that, happy to answer any questions.
Any further questions? Yeah. I think Deputy Mayor still has the floor.
No, that was a question.
Okay, because you popped your light on 3 times. Councilman Figueroa.
So thank you for that, and thank you for all the work on this. I know that there was a lot of public outreach done for this, and I remember going to some of the meetings, and one of the designs was going to run alongside Oceanside Boulevard, and it seemed like economically that was probably the most not as cost-effective design, but it did seem like a lot of the public wanted to go along the actual NCTD rail. What are we looking for as far as like when it comes to the funding of it? Because it is pretty cool that it's going to run, I guess, with not adjacent to Oceanside Boulevard, but adjacent to the rail. What are we looking at? I know you mentioned certain grant possibilities. Is there anything that is, I guess, that we're already eyeing as far as to help fund this project? And also, will the project, the way that it's going to be built out, will it start from west to east or from east to west?
Sure. Thank you, Councilmember Figueroa. Part of the reasoning of, like you mentioned, of us going closer to the tracks, through the outreach, we were finding that a lot of the public did want a low-stress trail, meaning they didn't want to have close interaction with traffic. By us going near or adjacent to the tracks, that allowed us to complete that request. And that was actually the number one top comment that was made, is that they wanted to make sure that they didn't have the stress, the constant stress of having vehicles, driving right next to them. As for grant opportunities, there are certain grants here in the regional, through SANDAG, that we are going to be looking to pursue. They certainly look at how we did in terms of what kind of outreach we did, the kind of, that we're listening to the outreach that we're receiving from the public and how we're implementing that into the plans. So I suspect that in the future that will provide us additional points when we are pursuing the grants. So I would think it'd be a positive thing.
There's no grants scheduled for this year or next year, probably.
Are we looking to start from east to west or from west to east? How's that?
That is
From
still
east to
something that
west.
we will be looking for or looking into in the final design. Our opportunities in terms of breaking the alignment into segments, our hope is that will allow us to perhaps move in a way that we're able to construct the segments that are easiest, whether it's through funding or also the segments that have the least amount of environmental impacts. As part of these projects, we'll also be having to pursue environmental regulatory agency permits. And like you guys know, those do take some time. And so there are some segments that could be low-hanging fruit, per se. So that could be a strategy that we can look into in a final design.
Deputy Mayor Joyce, it's 4 times you've put your light on. I saw you the first time.
So typically, if the light goes off, that we don't get called on. So that's why I keep it on.
No, I do. I can remember when you put your light on, I assure you. Go ahead. You got the floor.
So this is not the final trail, right? This is just for clarity's sake, this is the feasibility study was to look at the best plan that we have from more of a pulled back point of view. And then the next step would be to go into final design. Is that correct?
Deputy Mayor, that's correct.
Okay, just because I had questions, and then I had people send me questions after they started pinging about it. I know there's a ton. First of all, thank you for all the work on it, and thank you to all the organizations that jumped in. Our Bike and Ped Committee is so excited about it. I mean, the list of groups that brought people into these meetings was really fantastic. I got to attend one of them, and folks are really jazzed about it, not just in our city, but this is going to connect the rest of the Inland Rail Trail to the Coastal Rail Trail, too. So, you could get on the Coastal Rail Trail way far south and then go all the way into Escondido. It's just, it's a beautiful idea, and I'm so excited that we're moving forward with it tonight. So the folks that have questions about different parts of that, stay tuned. We're going to continue to work and refine it as we go through the process. And I heard what's next. We're seeking out grants to build out as quickly as we can. And I just wanted to point that this is kind of a lovely accident that today is Earth Day. And this is about as earth-friendly as, the work that we do gets to make it so that we can actually get outside of our cars and access all the neighboring cities that we love to get back and forth between in a safe way for users of all ages. So I'm just really excited, and I appreciate the explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Weiss.
I make a motion that we approve the recommendations of the feasibility study.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and second it. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 18, staff recommends City Council receive a presentation and report on the physical modeling of the Beach Oceanside pilot project conducted at the O.H. Hinsdale Wave Research Laboratory in Oregon. We have a report by Jamie Timberlake, our Coastal Zone Administrator.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me. My name is Jamie Timberlake. I'm the city's Coastal Zone Administrator, and I've been asked here tonight to provide an update on the physical modeling phase of the Beach Oceanside project. This phase of work was done primarily up at Oregon State University at the O.H. Hinsdale Wave Research Basin, which is the only wave basin on the West Coast that could house a project of this type and of this magnitude. I'm joined tonight by Daniel Dedina, who is the lead coastal engineer with GHD that designed and managed the physical modeling phase. You'll hear from him in a minute about the tests we ran and about the preliminary findings of the modeling. So just to bring everyone up to speed, the city's Beach project is the city's main effort to restore beaches in Oceanside and build resilience using a novel artificial reef system that aids with retaining placed sand on the shoreline. The Beach initiative stemmed from scientific and visual observations of beach loss. It stemmed from community encouragement to address the beach loss, and from state policies from the Coastal Commission that encourage coastal cities to address vulnerable low-lying areas and future sea level rise through adaptation of the coastline. The Coastal Commission remains a partner to this effort, conferring with the city on the design of this project from its inception in 2024 through to the current phase of physical modeling. The Coastal Commission has also supplied the city with a substantial grant that has enabled extensive modeling and monitoring, which you will hear more about tonight. So the Beach project consists of all the elements that are listed here. These elements work in consultation with one another to deliver the objective of restoring and sustaining sand south of the pier. Beach aims to build a bidirectional artificial reef, which is the butterfly shape in this image, and that's being designed to be built in 15 to 22 feet of water offshore with the purpose of redistributing wave energy onto the reef crest and away from directly eroding the beach. The artificial reef will be situated between two artificial headlands, one extending out from the Strand at Tyson Street and one at Wisconsin. The headlands will provide park-like amenities on the upper level, and on the lower level, the headland base and rocky outcrop that extends below the sand grade will provide back beach stability of the placed sand. The headland features will be most important during times of strong El Niño swell conditions, which usually hit our shoreline at steeper angles and then generate that longshore current that would otherwise strip the sand from the back beach. The onshore and nearshore sand nourishment elements add sediment back into the littoral cell. Since we have been cut off from a majority of our sand supply, we need to add the sand back into the system to maintain the objectives of the project and have a sandy beach. And then finally, an important project element is that we have an approved local sand nourishment borrow site, which is just offshore of the Beach project area and is by and large within the city's managed granted tidelands. So from here, I'll hand the mic over to Daniel, who will be discussing the design approach for the project and how that approach has been used to inform the physical modeling phase of this important effort.
Thank you, Jamie. Mayor, Council, thank you very much for having me. I'll be going over the design framework and then the physical modeling work that we did up at Oregon State. So where did we start? As you guys recall, we started with the design we received out of the design competition. And we can look at the design development process from this funnel. So we started in our kind of literature and data review. That tells us, okay, where in Oceanside can this reef be placed, and what are the general constraints? How far offshore, how far alongshore does it need to be? Now we need to refine that down and figure out, okay, what exact shape is this reef going to take, and what does that mean for the efficacy of the reef in retaining sand? So we moved to our hydrodynamic modeling, it's computer modeling, And from there, we move to morphological modeling, which just means long-term performance of the reef. So how much sand are we retaining and for how long? After that, we go into physical modeling, and this is where we really fine-tune the reef design and we look at wave breaking, very high detail. So talk a little bit about the work we've done. So this is the numerical modeling we did, where we really refined what the shape of the reef was in our computer model. So we looked at over 45 different distinct reef shapes and narrowed them down to find what's the best performing one. So on the left here, you can see a couple examples of different reef shapes. And on the right, you can see what that looks like actually in the computer model. So those yellow lines are waves moving towards the coast and breaking on the reef. And so that's what we did, and we evaluated the performance of each one, which was over 1,000 simulations total. It was quite a bit of work, and we were able to really bring the design forward through that effort. So once we did all that, we were able to move forward into the physical modeling, which was from January to March. It was 9 weeks up at Oregon State University. It's the largest wave basin in North America. And the staff there is really experienced with working with these types of projects. The reason this needed to happen as part of this design phase is because it's the best tool we have for design, right? This project is a really new concept. Hasn't been tested very many places in the world. And so you need to take it through this extra detailed design step to evaluate the kind of key performance metrics in high detail. You can see former world champ Katie Simmer's Oceanside Zone has all been there a couple of years ago testing out wave pool design. So it's a nice little crossover. But yeah, so that was 9 weeks. We were facilitating and running the experiments up there. So what were the goals? What did we hope to get out of this? Well, we wanted to test wave transmission. So how do waves break on the reef? And what happens when we change certain components of the design? How does that change how waves break? The second test was testing materials. So when we put rocks in the ocean, what's the size they need to be so that they don't move when we put them there? So that's a very important thing that you can really only test in this environment. And then we wanted to look at the sand transport patterns. So there's a way you can do that. We basically put sand-like material and see where it goes in the basin. The fourth and fifth tests were value engineering. So that's changing components of the design to try and reduce cost but retain performance. And then the fifth test was surfability. So trying to improve and change things about the reef to improve wave breaking along it. All right, now I'll talk about a little bit of the results at a high level for each of those tests. So I'll start with the wave transmission. You can see, again, this was changing very specific components of the design, specifically raising the middle of the reef crest 3 different times under a variety of wave conditions and seeing how that affects how waves are breaking. So on the right side here, that video that was just playing, you can see the arrow pointing to the bridge crest. We raised that 3 times. So we started at low water, mean low or low water. So basically at the water surface, we raised it to 5 feet above that and 10 feet. And then we measured how the waves were breaking. So on the left, you can see exactly our test results. And I'll just walk through this graph really quickly. On the y-axis, we have change in wave energy, basically. So at the top there, 1 means all waves were able to pass over the reef. And on the bottom, we have waves were not able to pass over the reef. And on the x-axis at the bottom, we have the crest elevation. So if we follow the lines on the graph, these are different wave conditions. We can see that as you raise the crest up, less waves are able to pass over the reef. And you can also see that there's a decrease in the amount of efficacy of that reef crest from 5 to 10 feet. So you kind of get diminishing returns the higher you put your crest, which is what we expected and what we saw in the numerical model. Now, the next test was finding stable rock sizing under extreme conditions. This consists of basically throwing a huge 100-year storm at at the reef and seeing if and where rocks move. And in particular, we were looking at 3 different segments of the reef, what we're calling the arms, the shoulders, and the bridge. Those kind of break waves in different ways, and so they move in different ways, and we had 3 different rock sizes at each of those portions. And so after doing a couple tests and changing the rock sizes and seeing where rocks moved, we had a final configuration that appeared to be stable. So this is kind of that final configuration and the associated rock sizes. So you can see on the bridge, those rocks are 6 to 16 tons. That's about a 5-foot diameter rock, similar to what you see on the South Jetty. And then on the shoulders, we have 4 to 8 ton rocks. That's about 3 feet diameter. And 0.5 to 3 ton rocks, that's a bit smaller, about 2 foot. We then move to the movable bed. So this is looking at sediment transport. Where is sand moving if we put it behind the reef? What we did was place a small amount of material behind the reef. It's not sand, it's lighter. It's actually crushed walnut shell. And we watched where it moved. So we put a thin strip, and we can see over the course of 60 hours of running continuous waves that are similar to Oceanside's waves, we can see that that material moves in behind the reef. And that's the pattern that we wanted to see, right? I guess a failure of this test would be all of that material being eroded out and moving to the outside of those arms. This is all under the assumption that this kind of test, it's pretty difficult to scale properly. So it's kind of just indicative of, all right, we're moving sediment in the lee of the reef. It's not going to tell us exactly how much is going to move, but it's helpful to see. So after that, we moved on to our value engineering. So where can we find cost savings in this project, which essentially means where can we reduce the volume of rock and retain the same performance, right? So the arms of the reef are a large area of it. So if we could reduce the width of those arms by half, we can save money and we can see how the performance changes. That was a test we ran there. We're still processing those results. And the 5th test was surfability. So how does changing the geometry of the reef, shape of the reef, change how waves are breaking along the reef? So what we did was we took those arms, so the two arms of the reef, and we rotated them in and out. What that does is change how quickly the wave breaks along it, which means how surfable might that wave be. We also changed what we're calling the shoulders, so the 2 pins at the top of the reef that orange arrow is pointing to. We changed those. You can see the difference in shape there, and what that does is change how waves form up before they reach the reef, and it can change the wave shape. So now we're in the process of processing all of those results, and we're hoping to have that report done ready for you guys to look at in the next couple months. So I just wanted to thank you all for your continued support and collaboration. It's been wonderful to see this project come a little bit more to life and work with our stakeholders closely as we do so.
Thank you. Is there more of a presentation, or is that it?
That's all. We're available for questions.
Great, thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, we have 6 speakers registered for this item.
Okay. Cesar Javier on the presentation. This is very specifically on this project.
Don't worry, Ma.
I just was wondering if, Mr. Javier, I was
Sandbag.
wondering if you were a surfer and you were going to enlighten us on your surfing experience.
My wife cannot, or don't allow me to speak without her, so allow us to contribute in our little experience. We can never defeat nature, but we could only protect ourselves. At this point in time, we are weighing how to protect humans than our beach. considering the amount of resource to be spent. Which one is priority? However, we really would like to have science in action, which is laudable. And it looks like you are the only James Bond. What about the other James Bond on our neighbors? So probably that would lighten our pocket. But the point here is, do we really need to focus on this, or what percentage, rather than protecting our human lives? That's our argument. And Ma'am, thank you for this opportunity, because there is another thing that we have to focus. The unseen enemy. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the thing that we touch. And that is something to us elders who would like to discover the fountain of youth. And then suddenly we saw all this book saying that we need the force of law to fight hazardous, environmental hazards. And what is this? This is hazards to human. We lost our income-generating beach, if that's the only reason. To us, the most important now is our safety, health, and survivability. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Oceanside President. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for driving to Oceanside. Charlie Bowen, followed by Jason Malik, followed by Bob Ashton.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Charlie Bowen, Communications Director for Save Oceanside Sand. Tonight, you're receiving a presentation on Rebeach physical modeling. I'd like to highlight a few key findings from the staff report. Quote unquote, the artificial reef has the potential to enhance surfability by modifying wave breaking patterns and improving sandbar development. Quote unquote, recreational enhancement, surfing, could be a strong co-benefit of the project. Quote unquote, these efforts provide increased confidence that the system can function as intended across a wide range of conditions. I'd add that Mr. Dedina there is an engineering warrior, and he did a great job with the physical testing up in Oregon. I had the privilege of going up there and having a look at it, and we really appreciated that. We can't turn back time on an urbanized, developed coastline, but we can adapt. Oceanside shoreline does not retain sand. Rebeach is designed to change that through nourishment and retention. We see how retention works in Oceanside at the jetties and the pier where sand stays, sandbars form, and the best waves break. Rebeach brings that same dynamic back along with the sand we've lost. When sand returns, sandbars follow. So do consistent waves and usable beaches. In my line of work, I hear this all the time. I just want to take my family to the beach again. I just want to see sand at Buccaneer before I die. That's where the families go. South O, the forgotten lands. I surfed the stairs at 1919 South Pacific when the sand and the sandbars made for great waves there and safe access. That's gone now. If we do nothing, more of it will disappear. But this is the moment where that story can change. You have a real, viable, science-backed solution in front of you, not someday, now. So I'll leave you with this. Bring back the sand, bring back the beach, bring lost surf breaks back, and bring Oceanside back. I urge you tonight to stay the course, get Rebeach permitted, funded, and implemented. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jason Malik, followed by Bob Ashton, followed by Corey Whitlock.
Thank you. My name is Jason Malik, and I'm an Oceanside stakeholder. This expansive and environmentally experimental Rebeach project is necessary because Oceanside's natural sandy bluff has been armored by a riprap seawall, most of which has been privately installed to protect private property. These machine-placed boulders are not native to Oceanside's natural coastal environment, and if they were not there, all 4 miles of Oceanside would have a sandy beach coastline. Again, this re-beach project is necessary because of the seawall. Despite the gaslighting narrative, all the sand that is captured by the harbor is already being continually dredged, pumped, and replenished back down to the pier right about where the seawall begins. On November 6, 2025, at the Marin Street Beach Access Area adjacent to 937 and 1001 Pacific Street, an Oceanside officer who neglected to conduct a thorough investigation ordered me to move from my right-of-way and threatened me with arrest, suggesting pain and harm would be inflicted if I did not comply. I moved against my will because I chose not to endure pain, injury, or arrest, and to address my concerns after the incident. Now, there is a raised and inhospitable private drainage system and an obstructive private fence, as well as concrete armament anchors that impede into public land and reduce the utility and quality of the already limited public beach access area. These private property owners have built themselves a private sandy bluff to be used as fishing platforms, volleyball courts, football fields, and lounge areas, while the rest of Oceanside searches desperately for sand on a daily basis, and private property owners advertise private beaches and private ocean access and generate astronomically high real estate and rental incomes. I've submitted numerous written objections and requests for information, but I have not received effective governmental assistance. I will not accept any situation where public beach access is absorbed into private property by adverse possession. Even 1 single square inch is too much public beach to be allowed to be possessed adversely. If our administrators have been oblivious to, complicit with, or enabling of exploitation and usurpation of public rights in favor of options that allow financial gain for private property owners, and that financial gain is, of course, taxed, and those taxes go directly to fund the administration tasked with protecting the rights of the public, we may be enslaved in a state of regulatory capture. That's right, regulatory capture. Let's look it up. It's real, and it's real bad for most of us, not for everyone. Please consider this statement another formal request according to the rights ensured by the Freedom of Information Act for all mean high water line survey data required or collected by the Dillon Revetment Coastal Modification, GHD Engineering, SANDAG, the City of Oceanside, as well as all investigation materials, timestamped, permit application and issuance documents, and body camera footage from the aforementioned incident. I demand that the City of Oceanside protect my public rights, and I'd really suggest that anyone else who cares about their protected rights make the same demand. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob Ashton, followed by Corey Whitlock, followed by Carolyn Kramer.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Sanchez, City Council, City staff, and fellow Oceansiders. I'm Bob Ashton, the CEO of Save Oceanside Sand. The completion of physical modeling of the Re-Beach Oceanside pilot project marks a critical milestone for our city and the future of our coastline. I had the privilege of spending some time up at OSU with Daniel and seeing the modeling firsthand. Truly impressive work. Special thanks to Jamie and the Re-Beach project team, Nick, Daniel, and others for their continued diligence and technical expertise. For years, we've known the core issue. Oceanside's beaches are eroding because the natural sand supply has been disrupted. We lack the coastal features that help retain sand. We've needed for decades is not just a plan or concept, but a design and proof of a solution that will work on our coastline. The modeling of Re-Beach pilot project provides that proof, and the results are both encouraging and important. The combined system of reef and headlands reshapes nearshore currents to retain sand on our beaches instead of losing it offshore. And for our surf resources, this design shows the potential not only to protect existing surf, but we could see improved wave shape and ride length under the right conditions. This balance matters because in Oceanside, beach width and surf quality are not competing priorities. They're shared assets that define our identity and drive our economy. This is what deliberate and focused coastal engineering looks like: science-based, community-informed, and accountable over time. So what does this milestone mean for us? It means we are no longer talking about theory. The Re-Beach team is working from tested, validated physical evidence. It gives confidence to the Re-Beach team, permitted agencies, funders, and to this council that this approach can deliver real results. It moves us another step closer to protect that returns our coastal resilience, one that restores our beaches while protecting the surf that defines Oceanside. And importantly, it doesn't stop at construction. The project includes post-implementation monitoring and adaptive mitigation strategies. That means if conditions change in ways we don't want, there is a plan in place to respond, adjust, and protect what matters. This is a moment where knowledge becomes power. An informed community and council can make confident, well-informed decisions to support innovations like Re-Beach. The SOS team would be happy to host community meetings and bring everyone together to receive updates, learn and engage on the progress of this project. A question to the project team that I hear from the surf community is the reef going to dampen wave energy in the adjacent surf areas? Save Oceanside Sand fully supports and endorses the continued progress of the Reef Beach pilot project. The opportunity is in front of us to continue to lead, to restore, and to secure the future of Oceanside's beaches for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Whitlock, followed by Carolyn Kramer.
Mayor, hello council. My name is Corey Whitlock. Been surfing here in Oceanside for over 42 years. I have 3 businesses that reflect the surfing community here: a surf shop, surf lessons, and a surfboard building manufacturing facility here in Oceanside. We've rescued many people off the beach over at South Jetty, you know, just as that young man did today. That is very dangerous. And if we can bring back surfing, they've done a great job on the engineering part, but I speak surf, I don't speak engineering. And if we can make a good left and a good right, and the waves break and the beaches come back and we bring our families back, we have a place for them to sit, barbecue, hang out, and enjoy the beach, I'm for this project. I look forward to seeing the models that Jamie and them have created, the waves that have shown that have been breaking. If we can build an artificial wave here in Oceanside in the valley, why not make a natural wave out in Oceanside in our premier zone of surf of Oceanside? Unfortunately, in the last 5 to 7 years, that zone has deteriorated exponentially. Where it used to be a good surf, now if you're lucky, you might get a day or 2 a year out of that location instead of 365 days a year. So I look forward to this project. I think we need to greenlight it, and I look forward to seeing more models coming out. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn Kramer.
Good evening, Council. Carolyn Kramer, Citizens for the Preservation of Parks and Beaches. Well, that was an interesting presentation because I heard another one that was presented by Ms. Timberlake of the presentation of this project. And it's interesting that what Mr. Leslie says is totally different than what I heard at the other presentation. So what I heard, and it's on tape, that the reef was selected to see on the basis of how much dissipation will the reef designs provide. Dissipation. Dissipation means dissipation of the wave energy. Second of all, how much dissipation we can get with each level of the reef. So the higher you go, the more dissipation of energy you get coming to the beach. But the one that Ms. Jamie keeps saying time after time in all the presentations I've seen is surfing is not a major objective of this project. It is to put sand on our beach. And the other part of this presentation that she gave that was totally shocking was discussion of the reef itself. And what was said is the reef is basically a seawall. Seawall. When I think of a seawall, I think of Long Beach and what it did to their waves. There are no waves in Long Beach any longer because of what they did way back in whenever they did it, but there are 0 waves in Long Beach. So, and I have a couple of questions on, I didn't prepare anything, sorry, because I wanted to hear what was being said tonight. So this is what was in their original presentation way back when, and I just wanted some clarification on if we've had any changes as to what that is. 75 feet, which equals 150 feet wide, 150 feet above on the groin and 150 below rock. Okay, so 160 feet wide, that's a football field. 360 feet long, that's a football field. Is that what we're looking to put into our ocean? A football field? I don't think so. And then, why do we even want to proceed when we know what the problem is? We need to fix the problem. Our rivers are choking, lagoons are choking. Let's clean those out, put the sand on the beach, and no more retention. Let's get a sand bypass system from the Santa Margarita River and let Mother Nature do its work like she did prior to the harbor being built. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is it for the speakers. Back to staff.
Would you like us to address any of the questions that came
Sure.
up? Okay. So with regard to, I'll just make sure to discuss this because it did come up today. With regard to the revetment that is present along a lot of our shoreline, because we have no beach sand, the mean high water line is within the revetment, and therefore that means that all revetment repairs and anything that's done on the revetment is handled by the Coastal Commission. So any individual property owner that has revetment repair needs, they need to go through the Coastal Commission, and the Coastal Commission handles that permitting. So the city doesn't really do very much with that permitting anymore because it's now state-owned. With regard to, let me just get back to my notes. So we are, with regard to the first speaker, we are using our beaches for many different reasons, right? We use it for recreational purposes, we use it for accessing the ocean, but we are also using our beach as an infrastructure, so we really need that beach space so that waves can break on the beach and not on our infrastructure, not on our built environment, and that's what keeps us safe. With regard to South Oceanside. So when we have a project like this, we're expected to bring in 900,000 cubic yards of sand, and that sand is not expected to be retained in one location. That's an enormous amount of sand. It's about 5 times what we've ever had placed before. It's about 4 to 5 times what we have placed on an annual basis from the harbor, and that'll be in addition to the dredge sand from the harbor. That sand is not expected to be retained. These are speed bumps. This is a reef that will help keep some of the sand around in the project location and where we place it, but that sand will still move around. So South Oceanside can definitely expect to see benefits from this project. Let's see. We are developing an adaptive management plan, and that was from Speaker Bob Ashton. He acknowledged that the fact that we are developing a plan that allows us to adjust the reef and the system if we start to see diminished returns on our investment. So if we start to see that there's impacts in various ways, to surfing, to beach width, to beach volume, to adjacent beaches, to public safety, we are going to have elements of management of this reef and system, and that's going to be always the case because we do expect it to change with the conditions of the ocean changing. But this adaptive management plan is something that we're going to be doing. We're doing now, and we're using all the baseline monitoring that we've been collecting over the last year, and we'll be using that as a way to compare how our current beaches are and how they will change once the project is implemented. And we're also expecting to put those adaptive actions into the budget of the project. And then with regard to this project being a seawall or a breakwater like Long Beach, this is a reef. It has a bridge crest, and that's that main method of controlling how much wave energy that we can direct onto the reef itself. But the waves will move around it. That bridge crest is actually fairly short in distance and fairly short in height at the current design. And the waves will be directing onto that reef, and then the dissipation happens on the inside or the lee of the structure. So the dissipation will happen in the ocean outside of the immediate beach area, and that's what is causing a lot of our erosion. There's many things that are causing erosion and causing us to lose beach sand, but one of those things is the amount that the waves, the highest amount of wave energy reaches the beaches and then causes that erosion. So what we're trying to do is redistribute that wave energy onto the reef itself. But this is not a breakwater. This is a reef. It's a completely different technique and management tactic. And we've been now developing this for 3 years, and it's never been using these traditional techniques of coastal management. We are using a novel technique with artificial reef and 2 artificial headlands. Do you want to add anything? Is there anything else that I can address?
I'll be coming to the council to see if there are any questions. All right, so to the council, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit about how you simulated swell direction in that? Because swell direction is such an important piece of the puzzle here.
That's a great question. So in the computer model, we're able to do that very easily. It's just something you plug into the model. In the physical model, basically it's a Olympic-sized swimming pool with 29 different wave paddles in the deep end. And each of those wave paddles can act independently, giving different wave heights and directions. So we can simulate a stormy day, a stormy north swell, a long period south swell. And that's actually what we did. So we had a variety of wave periods and wave directions that we tested on the reef because we wanted to make sure we're actually representing Oceanside's shoreline and wave climate and how it would actually perform. So we were able to actually test that.
Okay. Thank you. It's really complicated. I want to ask 1,000 more questions, but I won't tonight. I'll spare my colleagues because I am very interested. One thing that was brought up was the sand bypass, and I'm really interested in that as well. And I think council took action to move to bring back more information on that. So could you give us a status update on that and when we expect to hear more about, I guess, what those investigations have looked into?
Yeah, thanks, Councilmember. Nick Sadrepor, Senior Coastal Scientist with GHD. So we just finalized a report and submitted it to the city that was looking at different scenarios, including returning a bypass from north side of the harbor off Camp Pendleton. And really the conclusions of that is identifying that a mobile offshore dredge is a lot more economical and flexible given the amount of infrastructure and uncertainty that the city would have to kind of take ownership of in pursuing all of that infrastructure to secure sediment from Camp Pendleton, which today, they're not coming to the table offering the sand to the city. And then an entire pipeline, essentially something akin to the sewer system of the city where you have a fixed permanent pipeline extending miles along the shoreline. And part of the issues is the uncertainty of supply. When we look at DMJs, obviously it looks like there's a large amount of sand north of the harbor. It actually doesn't even reach where the old intake pipe was of the historic bypass. So we were looking through scenarios including mobile operations at the mouth of Santa Margarita, which come with a series of environmental concerns and considerations on top of the military operations that we'd have to navigate to actually operate and acquire a reasonable amount of sand, and then move that material to the places in Oceanside that need it, mostly south of the pier. And the report will be available to be viewed and available for more questions. But
Thank you. Is that going to be something that comes to council as a report, or is that we're going to just take that independently and then go from there?
Yeah, Honorable Mayor, we would present it at your pleasure. So if you would like us to come back and have a public discussion about it, we'd be happy to do it, or we could just distribute it as a memo and post it online and handle it that way. So we have a variety of options.
Okay, so I'll just state my preference is for us to have some kind of public discussion about it, just so folks can understand the intricacies of why it may be a challenging project to undertake, and just for a public accounting of that piece. The last thing I will say about this is, As a surfer, I would love to see really great waves on both sides of that reef. So whichever of those models comes out best for that. The heavier, the better. Thanks.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Thank you, and thank you for all the work on this. I think one of the questions that was asked, I don't know if it was answered, is the reef going to dampen the wave energy on the adjacent surf breaks?
Yeah, great question. This is something we looked at quite extensively in the computer modeling and then in the physical modeling. And the answer is no. The influence of the reef is pretty confined to the reef area as far as how waves break. It might generate sandbars like right next to the reef, so kind of between the headland or kind of on the headlands, but beyond that, we don't expect waves to change, for instance, at the pier. Yeah, thank you.
And just a question, kind of like, I'm just interested to know, how did you guys simulate, what material did you use when you guys were studying it? Because it was, couldn't tell exactly what it was.
Great question. So we actually constructed Oceanside's bathymetry out of wood in the basin. So in the swimming pool, we basically built a mile of Oceanside's coastline. And then the reef itself and the headlands that were in there were made out of scaled rock. So the whole thing was scaled at 1:35. So we had, if your largest rock is 5 feet, the rock we actually used is about the size of my fist, so a couple inches, about 5 inches in diameter. Yeah.
Thank you. No other questions. I want to thank the team for, this was, by the way, I don't think it was made clear that this was privately funded. And this area, this place, is like the only place in the United States, in the continental U.S. I think there's something in Canada, or there was something in Canada, but to be actually simulating in a lab setting what different things you can do to this to come up with different results and try to refine it is something that is highly, highly unusual. So I do appreciate and it was Catalyst, right? It was...
Yeah, Alumbra Innovations Foundations provided the funding for the physical modeling effort in partnership with Resilient Cities Catalyst.
Yes, that's okay. So I really appreciate that. I was invited to come. I did come on the city's dime, but it was pretty fantastic. I did get to ask a lot of questions and get right, in there. I didn't join. Who was it that went inside the pool? I think it was State Senator Catherine Blakespear and our city manager, right? Yeah. So what I had understood at the time, and I think most of the focus here was on the reef, not so much on the headlands, because I did have some questions about the headlands, but that was really kind of secondary. It was really about the reef and trying to figure out how, what the rocks would, how much they would weigh, and trying to figure out how, with all of these simulations, how they'd be able to stay and come up with what would happen, what breaks there would be, and all of that. So I was a body surfer in high school. I guess I'm not doing that now. I guess our deputy mayor's doing that now. And that was when the boogie board came out, by the way. Yeah. But I really appreciated being able to be there and see it myself and ask questions. And it's too bad we couldn't get a whole lot of folks to go see it. But I do understand that there was another trip and that some of the members of SOS were able to attend. So thank you very much. And this is a recommendation to receive the presentation and file the report. Do we need a motion? No, no motion is needed, so thank you very much for that presentation. All right, so next item is item number 19. Staff recommends City Council, number 1, adopt a resolution for certifying the final program environmental impact report and associated mitigation monitoring and reporting program for the Oceanside sewer improvements. Number 2, approve Amendment 3 to the professional services agreement with joint venture of Orion Construction Corp. and TC Construction Company, Inc., a joint venture in the amount of $90,087,823 to procure materials and labor required for construction of conveyance pipelines and lift station for a total contract amount not to exceed $129,387,031 for the progressive design build of the Oceanside Mesa Garrison Lift Station and Force Main, Mission Avenue Force Main replacement, and land outfall replacement project. And number 3, appropriate funds in the amount of $87,632,993 from the Water and Sewer Fixed Asset Replacement Fund's unrestricted fund balance. And 4, authorize the city manager or his designee to execute the agreements amendment upon receipt of all supporting documents. So we do have a report by Mabel Uyeda, Water Engineering Manager. Ms. Uyeda?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. Mabel Uyeda, Water Engineering Manager. This item is for approval of Amendment 3 for the Progressive Design Build Delivery of Critical Wastewater Infrastructure Project. It supports a long-term system reliability, regulatory compliance, and the city's sustainability goals. The following is the recommendation for 4 key actions that are listed here. Final program environmental impact report and mitigation monitoring and reporting program. Approve the amendment for $90.1 million, appropriation of $87.6 million from the sewer and water fixed asset replacement fund, and then authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. The main purpose of the project is to reroute wastewater flows to our San Luis Rey Water Reclamation Facility, which improves the system's efficiency, enhance reliability, and reduce long-term operational risks and costs. It supports the city's recycled water and broader sustainability goals. It's a foundational investment in Oceanside's wastewater infrastructure. This is an overview of the major components in the Progressive Design Build contract. It includes the lift station, the new force main, and replacement of 2 aging force main infrastructure pipelines. This delivery method is Progressive Design Build. What it does is it allows the contractor to be a part of the design. Phase 1 is for design and engineering services during construction. Phase 2, which we're moving towards into construction, with several different guaranteed maximum prices. The contractor is involved early to reduce risk for the city as well as control costs. This council has previously taken advantage of this delivery method with Amendment 1, where we went ahead of the Cypress Point development and were able to install our pipelines. The Progressive Design Build team estimated an approximate savings of about $1 million by getting ahead instead of constructing that pipeline now that there's about 50+ homes already constructed. This is just north of Palo Road by Aspen. The other early procurement was Amendment 2, where we came before City Council and presented for early procurement of 70% of the materials. We were at that time in December estimating a estimated 5% increase in material costs. That was all before what's happening globally and also the increased costs with gas. So we were able to control costs with that amendment. This Amendment 3 is for the guaranteed price for the remaining materials and labor for the lift station and the pipelines. And just to give you a little bit more information, the progressive design build is an open book process. We were able to have a third-party review, evaluate what those costs are. We used the Cypress Point as a gauge to estimate what their production levels were. So we're comfortable with the amendment total of $90.1 million. The project was completed the full environmental review under CEQA. Draft EIR was circulated for 45-day public review, and all comments from agencies and tribal representatives have been addressed. The final PEIR concludes that there are no significant unavoidable impacts with the exception of noise impacts, and all potential impacts can be mitigated to less than significant levels. The project is also compliant with NEPA requirements, which sets us up for potential federal funding. Here's the fiscal impact. The amendment is for $90.1 million. The total contract amount, $129.4 million. It's funded by the sewer and water fixed asset replacement funds. The reason the water fixed asset replacement fund is involved is because there is a segment of water pipeline that will be replaced. It's asbestos concrete. It's an older water main, and we did not want to further impact the residents in that area. It runs through the Canyon Creek apartments, that roadway. So we decided to replace that entire water main from the former Garrison Elementary School to Mesa Drive. Additional funding will come from grants, and we're right now in the process of evaluating the WIFIA loan versus municipal bonds. So sufficient funds are available for this project. And with that, staff recommends the following recommendations for City Council. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mabel. What is the timeline for all of this?
So we have, now that we have the final PEIR, if it's adopted, we have some permits that we need to finalize. We're looking at construction in late May or June.
Okay, and how long is this projected to take?
It's approximately 3 years.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any requests to speak from the public?
Yes, we have one speaker registered to speak. Cesar Javier.
Mr. Javier?
Thank you, Mayor and councilors. We are also in a study on this EIR because of our experience in our city, this show window of the region. I just wanted to know how APCD contributes into the commenting aspect of EIR on such project as sewer construction, sewer lines, laying of pipings, etc., etc. Because definitely when we say sewer, we expect, the used water that must be treated. So we need treatment plant so that it would be cleansed before going through tributaries or what we dream as a reservoir, not to waste, but rather use it and pump it up to the upstream and use for processing of clean water. That's what our vision. So who is the IPA? Is it the APCD, or we will ask via the state law, land use, environmental, CEQA, too many names with the same purpose. That's our coming over here to learn. And also to share with you the failure. I am a witness. The failure of our show window in the region. They own the air pollution control, they own the water, they own the garbage collection fee. Wow. And what is public welfare in that sense? Ma'am, allow us to share your experience as we see it now. This is seriously being discussed, which we missed in our setting. In fact, I am now barred because I always question and I go off the line and perceive me as a violent man. No, sir. No, ma'am. We are just survivors. We need to enjoy life. And sewer line will mean the transition from cityhood to metropolis to megalopolis. That's empirical, and that's the trend. So let us plan now and work it out for our future. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Mr. Javier. Yes, City of Oceanside is pretty different from City of San Diego, your city. This is part of a pure water project. The City of Oceanside started with pure water before City of San Diego. And so the City of San Diego has been having issues with their treatment, I should say non-treatment of sewage that they have been putting out to the ocean. So their pure water project is finally going to be able to address those issues that have been longstanding with the Coastal Commission. When I was on the Coastal Commission in 2009, 2013, City of San Diego didn't even have a date when they were going to fix that. So we actually have groundwater, and it's a completely different system, Mr. Javier. So the Air Pollution Control District Board is not involved in this. Thank you. To the council, Councilmember Weiss.
I'll move approval of staff recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. We're so very, very happy to see this. Moving forward, please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 21. This is public communications on off-agenda items. Do we have any requests to speak on items not on this agenda?
Yes, we do. We have 6 registered speakers.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started.
Our first speaker is Leo Chapinski, to be followed by Cesar Javier.
Mayor, City Council, I started off this morning being very angry, but also very sad. And but I do thank the mayor and the deputy mayor for their comedic relief today, which has kind of lightened my heart a little bit. Thank you very much. That's very nice. The good news, I guess I better use my glasses because I'm old. The good news is they took the biopsy, a big, large thing out of my arm, and they said, well, it's cancer, but at least it's not melanoma. And I said, well, thank you, Jesus. So we'll go back and we'll figure that out. We're looking at radiation, I guess, and we'll go that route. I wanted you to see this picture because this is just another one of the victims where we don't have safe parking or anywhere or shelter or anything. So far, we've lost 8 of my friends this year, and it's just the beginning. And if you take a good look at his face, and if you can't see it, I'll make some copies for you, but that's the face of a really good man, a really good person. He got run over by a driver on Friday night, hit and run. He was like Keegan, the young kid. This guy's twice his age. Keegan got run over by someone as well. They need shelter. We need shelter. Not just those of us that have a vehicle, those that don't have vehicles. Try to pick up the paper. It's free. Won't cost you anything. Seniors, like this gentleman, myself, face age discrimination, needless suffering, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very true. Inez Williams and Tia, they talked about the most vulnerable. Well, who exactly are the most vulnerable? They're seniors, they're older people, they're the homeless. They are the most vulnerable. And they're the ones that we're getting rid of every day. And Mr. Knott was correct when he said slow down, because that's one of the problems we're having on the street. I can't tell you how many times I came close to being T-boned in the last few months by people running red lights, not yellow lights, red lights. No, they could care less. I mean, who's going to stop them? Who's going to get them? We have no one. And there's so many of them. So we're just going to get more people run over. Might even be a tourist. Could be an actor or an actress coming up from La Jolla. Then maybe it'll make the news. But the speed, I've been stopped by so many police officers wanting to know, why am I not going the speed limit? I said, officer, it's a limit. It's like fishing. You're supposed to catch 5, not 6. If I'm going 45 and a 45, why are you pulling me over? I'm going the speed limit. I'm not going over the speed limit. We need to stop this nonsense.
Thank you. Mr. Cesar Javier, followed by Purita Javier, followed by Jimmy Knott.
Your Honor, my wife would speak first. Thank you.
I am Purita Javier.
Oh, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. I am Purita Javier, victim of toxicity from ceramics manufacturing and kiln located, constructed, and even all altered, converted, operated in a residential zone dedicated community in the city of San Diego since 1984. Research and study explains the hazards of ceramic Mesa College, where the owner took his vocation training as ceramics and pottery artists must have been taught the threat of health and safety. In our investigation with 2 artists, members of the San Diego Pottery Guild, based in Spanish Village, Balboa Park, explained the same hazards to human. In October, December 2021, occupational medicine review published still COVID-19 pandemic that ceramic artists can be exposed to many hazards, including metal, such leads, fibrinogen, such as silica. Yet, repetitive motion radiation, the toxic emissions from kilns.
Thank you very much. Next is Cesar Javier. If you could speak in the mic.
Compete with our intelligence. We confidently and hopefully our leadership in Oceanside would not allow such hazardous business. We are here to show, to amplify our fear, our pain and sufferings physically, emotionally, and even financially in search for solution. We have been voicing this for 5 years. And lately this year, we went from one city to another, if only to learn the processes in a hope that we could find that niche, the light, so we could tell them, 11 elected officials, I am not threatening you, but rather cry to you. Please help us because this is wrong. September 18, 2025, my picture was there posted like a wanted person. Do not go near the city hall because you are restrained. Is this how they will solve, or is solving our issue a legitimate issue? We are deprived of enjoyment of life. We are taxpayers. Why did they allow this hazardous business next door, dedicated as residential zone? We went to the planning, municipal, Oceanside code rule, very clear. Nuisance, odor, smoke, no. You cannot put one program or project if it's not in accord with health, safety, and public welfare. Very basic, ma'am. I hope this must not happen. It should never happen here. This is my home, Pendleton. I was a soldier, and my stance is a fighter to protect and defend ourselves. What more can I do? I cannot bring my weapon, but only my voice, my words. Why I am justly declared as violent man, and now I'm facing 2 restraining order. Thank God, we trust. We are winning and fighting Satan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jimmy Knott, followed by A.J. Cates, followed by Karen Williams Graham.
Mayor, council members, Jimmy Knott, 127 Cherry Lane. I want to report back to you from your workshop. Over at the Senior Center, there was an announcement from your workshop that you held about the continuation of your support for the senior nutrition program and the senior programs. There was unanimous applause, and there was explanation and expression of thanks to you. I wanted to come here tonight to tell you that it was very appreciated, and that in the future, if you could have some proposed breaking down of the budget so that those potential errors or lack of clarity can be understood by the public, it would help out and people would understand better. But I would love to take and relive that and to share that with you. That was really, really inspiring to see people coming forward and having the whole lunch community saying, thank you. So I wanted you to know it was appreciated. And so I want you to think about that. Now, the other side of the coin is that with the homeless seniors, there was something that I was noticing, and I don't know if you notice it as well, is as you get older, you accumulate things. And what it is that you don't know where to store them. And you accumulate, and you stack up. And this is where you potentially could help in the near future, is helping seniors understand storage, sorting, donating, things like that. So I would love to encourage you to start thinking about counseling in that area and encouraging some benefit or some sort of way of communicating that to our homeless seniors and others. Also, I want to compliment, and this goes to Zeb and your other duties that you have over at Palomar. You have over there is your student association and your community there. You have an excellent resource center over there. And to help the students, you have a food bank. You have also other counseling programs. And on May 2nd, you have a celebration coming up. And I hope you take some time at the end today to explain a little bit of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knott. The nutrition program, what happened to that was our CDBG funds keep being cut every year. It is now part of the general fund. As to the other senior program, it was a grant for a while, and the grant was not received last year, so it was covered. And this at the workshop, it was accidentally, I guess, not included, and it is now. So within the general fund. Is it general fund or, yeah, general fund. Okay, thank you. Next is AJ Cates, followed by Karen Williams-Graham.
Good evening. My name is AJ Cates. I was born at Tri-City Medical Center. My mom was born there too. My grandma was born at the hospital before it was Tri-City. In fact, 7 generations my family has called Oceanside home. And tonight I'm standing here without one. They say you can judge a society not by its peaks, but by its floor and how it treats people at the very bottom. When you raise the floor, you raise everyone. That is not a radical idea. This is arithmetic. This city, like many others, has poured significant resources into addressing homelessness. And I want to be very direct. Addressing homelessness without addressing housing costs is not fighting a fire. It's managing smoke. The fire is a real estate market engineered by a small group of property holders to ensure that rents never fall. Homelessness is not a failure of the homeless. It is a fundamental feature of the capitalistic housing market. Which brings me to the encampment resolution funding. Oceanside received $11.4 million drawn from a larger $900 million statewide encampment resolution bill, a bill that has already resulted in embezzlement charges against politicians and multiple other cities that received this exact funding. Oceanside originally claimed it would help out an estimated 200 to 300 people, but so far they claim that they've only helped out just 75. After a generous 20% management fee to make it $9.1 million, that comes to approximately $121,000 per individual. For $121,000, you can build a couple prefabricated homes. You could also, which I thought this was cool, you could afford to do laundry for every single homeless person. I'm talking fluff and fold laundry service for every single homeless person in the city, right, for the cost of paying for one person. And that From my estimates, my inside-out estimates, as I call them, I estimate they've only spent about $30,000 per person, leaving roughly $90,000 per individual unaccounted for. And I do not believe this gap is an accident. The grant was split between 2 cities, managed by 2 separate nonprofits, in Interfaith of Escondido and Community Resource of Encinitas, both not from Oceanside, which effectively doubles the complexity of tracking where the money went. When I looked at what you guys have put on the budget record, there was only 2 line items. That was that you received the money and that you hired Tamika Tates.
Thank you, Mr. Cates. Mr. Cates, just FYI, this, as you said, it was 2 cities, and so we split the money. Each City Carlsbad had their own programs, and we had our.
Where's the percentage of the split, though?
We do have an update. We do have an update on that encampment fund, and I think that it is a pass-through, and we'll see how we can get it out to the public. Yes, thank you. Karen Williams-Graham, I understand there is an event coming up.
Yes, sir.
For Mother's Day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have 2 things to tell you. I went through my garage and I found something. State Senator Bill Morrill recognized Laura Williams from The Lion King, and he gave
That's
her
your daughter.
But anyway, I found out that he had given her a proclamation making Laura Williams Day today, and today is her birthday. I was like, oh, I forgot you had this. But anyway, and then the second thing I want to say, I need your support. Army and Navy Academy has granted the Graham family a task. If we raise $30,000 in my son's name, they will automatically put his name on the scholarship. And that has never been done in the 110 years of Army and Navy Academy, where an African-American cadet has a scholarship in his name. Rory Jr. was the first African-American cadet to serve as chaplain for 3 years. He had the largest Christian clubs in the history of the school. When he passed away, former General Bliss asked the family to start a foundation to encourage the other African-American cadets that attend the school that they can be good leaders too. So on May 2nd at the beautiful El Camino Country Club, we're going to be honoring one of the older mothers of the community, and we'll be raising funds for the Rory Graham Jr. Foundation to make sure if we raise $30,000, his name will be permanently on the scholarship. And if you have Zelle, you can Zelle me, or Zelle the foundation, not me, excuse me, at 760-470-6545. Anybody wants to come, you just Zelle, see that number on the card, you just Zelle that, and we'll put your name on the list. But I need to know by next Wednesday. So have a good day, council members, and I look forward to hearing from you real soon. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
That concludes the speakers.
Thank you. We're on to mayor and or council member items. We have number 22. This is request by Deputy Mayor Joyce and myself to direct staff to study possible options for a secondary ingress-egress for the Capstone neighborhood and to establish a protocol for emergency evacuations. Deputy Mayor?
Mom, thank you. Sirs, thank you. Oceanside, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Javier.
Thank you,
Thank
Mayor.
you for stopping by and visiting us here in Oceanside.
So I'll try and keep it real brief. The Capistrano neighborhood is facing an issue that is long-term, but it's also becoming more acute in a lot of ways. With changes at the Camp Pendleton Gate the backups along the neighborhood to get in and out of the neighborhood have become more and more challenging. They frequently face a blocked intersection, getting out in the morning. All the things that we normally do to go about our day are that much more complex for hundreds of families in our city. And what they're also experiencing, beyond just the inconvenience of really struggling to get in and out of their neighborhoods during high traffic times in the mornings and the evenings when the lines are backed up, is full shutdown of getting in and out of their community. So this has happened to from my records, at least 3 times within the last year. On July 30th, from 3 a.m. to 8:15, so almost 5 hours, or a little more than 5 hours. On November 22nd, for 2.5 hours in the morning, and on March 6th for basically 7 hours. And that's traffic completely stopped from entering and exiting the neighborhood. As you can imagine, folks need to get to their homes. And when that happens, there are safety concerns on an individual family basis. And then the neighborhood has raised concerns about their ability to get out in the event of an emergency. And as we know, lots of our areas of the city were updated with the new fire maps as well. So there is an increased anxiety and an increased frustration from a neighborhood that already feels cut off from the city. And so from my perspective, and I appreciate the mayor partnering with me on this, we need to give them the satisfaction of at least doing a report that explores a secondary ingress or egress. You know, folks will bring up Loretta Street, folks will point to different ideas, but I would, from my perspective, I would like to hear the city do some preliminary analysis of what it would take to do those. Because maybe they're completely infeasible, but at least we need to be able to have that conversation with the neighborhood about why this is not an option or why it's too challenging to do. We owe them that as much, because no one else faces this kind of challenge with access to their own homes. For the folks of that neighborhood, I'm asking for your support. I'm not asking for us to hire an outside consulting group, and I haven't heard from my colleagues, so I'd be curious to hear what you think is the best path as well. But I'm not asking us to spend boatloads of money right now. What I'm asking for is a real basic rundown of our options from a staff perspective, and about the challenges wherein we would face with exploring those. And the second piece of this is establish a very clear protocol with communication, especially established with the neighborhood, on what happens if they have to evacuate. And I think that's just another piece that's really important here that could be done independently on different timelines, but communicated in a very clear and obvious way to the neighborhood so that they can rest at ease that they are not exposed in the case of an emergency in the area. So thank you again, Mayor, for partnering with me on this, and I look forward to hearing my colleagues' thoughts on it.
Thank you. I'd like to first go to the public. So do we have any requests to speak?
We do not have any requests to speak on this item.
I do want to say that we did receive several emails. I didn't count them, maybe 20 is kind of a guess. And I want to say that this is something that a situation actually got worse. But it has been a really, the folks in Capistrano have had a hard time because they share access, at least partial access, towards for folks that are heading towards the base. And so sometimes folks think that they could cut through and save some time. I know staff has done a few things there to address that, the cut-through traffic. And so Camp Pendleton did something else, and that is they moved the front gate. And so that created yet another situation for the residents. And I know that there have been several meetings over time. I know I've initially started having meetings with them for the first part of it, and then now I understand, Deputy Mayor, you've had meetings, on-site meetings with the representative from Camp Pendleton and also from Caltrans in trying to figure out something that can be done with these three agencies, including our city, putting our heads together and figuring out what can we do to help coordinate and bring about a solution. As I understand it, it has been extremely difficult to find a solution. I know that this was something that came up, and I had talked to staff about, hey, could you look at it and see if there's any way that we could provide a secondary access in terms of Loretta, which is a very, very old, predates 76 and the flood control project. So it would have to require a bridge, which would just not be feasible. It would be huge costs, and unfortunately, it would not be considered a regional project, and therefore would not really qualify for federal funding. What I was hoping that staff could possibly do is see if there was another way that we could perhaps find for them to be able to have another access point. Ms. Barrega, do you have any thoughts on this?
Honorable Mayor and council members, yes, and we have had quite a few internal discussions on this going back now probably a couple of years because it has been getting progressively worse. And Deputy Mayor pointed to some of the incidents that were very high profile in terms of, essentially keeping folks in the neighborhood, not allowing them to be accessed. We have had several recent discussions amongst staff and brainstorming different ideas and thoughts and looking at all different sorts of options. Loretta is, of course, challenging because of the points that you mentioned and having to cross the riverbed and construct a bridge, which, in an environmentally sensitive area is often very challenging to do. But there are, other potential connection options that I think are worth exploring based on some of the conversations that we had. In talking to our staff, we believe that we can come back with some thoughts and recommendations in August. We do appreciate being able to look at this first on a staff level before we invest significant amounts of money in terms of bringing on outside help. But I do think that we have a very qualified team of city employees that can really kind of put their heads together and look at all different options here. I also do understand, and based on our recent constructions, that our fire department has actually started working on an evacuation plan for the area, and I think we would be able to share some of that information in August as well. So we look forward to reporting back to you with some updates and getting further direction at that time. But it is a very high priority for staff to look at this as well, because we certainly feel the pain of the neighborhood and understand the seriousness of the situation out there.
Thank you. Councilmember Robinson?
Thank you. The city manager probably answered most of my questions or covered what I wanted to talk about, but I just want to address one thing, and the fire department's here, and I'm glad they're working on a plan and all that, but and when the community worries about the evacuation and emergency, remember, they think, a lot of times we think, oh, it's going to be business as usual. Oh, the gate's going to back up. All that will go away. That when and they can speak to it more, but I just want to try to reassure people that when evacuations happen, everything changes. And we have other neighborhoods. Honey Hills is one that's a one-way in, one-way out type scenario. Not quite the same problem as we have here, and I'm not trying to dismiss this neighborhood that we're talking Capo neighborhood at all. I'm just saying, I know the fire department, police department, California Highway Patrol, the base, all know how to operate in those type of emergency situations. And the other thing I would just remind the citizens that live up there is work with our fire department, reach out to them, work on how to make your homes more defensible space around them, clean things up, and that minimizes the need or the risk to have to evacuate. So that's all. I support the effort in looking at it and doing what Mr. Borrego says.
Thank you. And did you want to ask a fire department any questions? Okay, all right. So, well, I see a waving. I don't know if that means they want to talk.
No, they don't.
Oh, okay. I couldn't interpret
I speak for them.
the handshake or the hand wave. All right, thank you. All right, so as you can see, this is something that has been on our minds in terms of the situation getting worse. We did get some emails. The whole council got emails about one person said that she is a caretaker for someone, and there was a need to take that person to the doctors, and she couldn't get to her family member, and it was really, really upsetting to her that she couldn't get in there and at least, calm her down and make sure that that they could address it. The situation is just 5 hours can be a long time, and especially if you don't even know if and when it's going to end. So this is a motion by the deputy mayor to direct staff to study possible options. Is this okay the way it's written? Okay. For secondary ingress egress for the Capistrano neighborhood and to establish protocol for emergency evacuations. And I'm going to go ahead and second that. Any other requests to speak? Seeing no lights go on, let's vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 23, this is my request to make appointments to or motions for removal from some or all of the city's advisory groups. And I will note that we had a late applicant for the Fair Practices Commission, the Mobile Home Fair Practices Commission. So happy to be able to replace someone who just left. So I'm good. Councilmember Robinson?
Thanks, Mayor. And sorry I didn't send a reminder, but I think it was about a month ago or so I sent about the EDC, the Economic Development Commission. And when I saw your list, I thought I'll just bring it up here. I've been contacted by members of the commission, and I'm supported by Michelle Geller. And what I'm going to ask you to do, what I'd like to do or recommend, they would like to have fewer members on the commission. And the reason is, and I did some quick checking, in 2025, they didn't meet quorum 5 times. And so they have 11 members. Their desire is to go to 9. And I think, and I know that they have special representatives, and I might ask, before you make your motion or whatever you're going to do, is that we pull that out, let us go back to the EDC, let them figure out which representative group they probably don't need or and change their bylaws, and then come back to us, because right now they have 8 members on there. They would only need 1 more appointment to hit the 9. So if that kind of makes sense.
Right, and I think that the problem, I think we tried to address this once before, was it a year or 2 ago, Councilmember Weiss, where the issue had to do with several positions were for manufacturing. And so we did change, was it 1 or 2? 2, to make it easier to fill these positions, and also at the same time have representation on the commission. So the committee at large is probably necessary. The nonprofit industry, I think there's only 1 for that, and we did have an appointment there. And commercial real estate, we did. These were easy to fill. It's the manufacturing. And if they could I'd like to move forward on these three, and then as to the other ones, see if we could direct, it would have to be direction to staff to bring this issue up with the commission, and the commission would have to change the bylaws.
Right, so why don't we just hold on this? It doesn't mean they can't, they just don't need to make it now. Let the commission work through this problem, make their recommendation. It may match what you're saying, I don't know. But I think they're the ones doing the work. And even at the last meeting I was at, they had to make phone calls to make sure that they were having people there for the, to meet the quorum. So I really, really ask you to just take that one out, let us go back and come back. I don't think there's going to be a big delay in it.
Okay. All right, then I'll bring it back. I'm scheduled to bring back, there are some terms ending soon, I think, was it June or July? July 1st, I think. So I'll be coming back in in June, I think. So maybe we can
direction to
address it.
staff to do what you just said about.
Right. So I will go ahead and withdraw my appointment recommendations under Economic Development Commission. I do move the balance. Okay, there's a motion and second. But also the motion is to direct staff to bring this issue forward with respect to addressing the need for making quorum, and for the commission to change their bylaws to reflect that. All right? And there's a motion and a second. Any other requests to speak on this? Okay, please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. We now have item number 24, that's under adoption of ordinances. This is staff recommends City Council adopt an ordinance amending section 2.1.70 of the Oceanside City Code to adjust the salary for the mayor and members of the City Council in accordance with the provisions of section 36516 and 36516.5 of the California Government Code. This was introduced April 8th, 2026 on a 5-0 vote. Any requests to speak?
Yes, we do. We have one speaker.
Okay, Mr.
Jimmy
Knott?
Mayor, Council, Jimmy Knott, 127 Cherry Lane. There's been a few people I've talked with, and they have a question on the outcome of this and the impact on the city budget. And also, what would be the immediate increase for the city council and mayor? I've heard anywhere, and they have heard many other, questions on estimates, anywhere from 5% to 42% immediate increase in salaries. So if there's can be some clarity, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And my recollection is it's like a 45% over time over 10 years. So it's not compounded. So it's, I think, a difference about $5,000 in over a 10-year period, right? So about 5 or 7. Do we remember? It's not a whole lot. It sounds like a lot because it's a percentage, like 45%, but it actually is not that much because it's taking into consideration basically the cost of living increases that would have taken place over time. Do we have? No one has that, I guess. Or maybe our city attorney?
Yes, Mayor, council members, I'd be happy to address that. The specific increase is just under $1,000 per month as to the base salary for each council member. So the total impact of and this is all in the staff report that was published at the time of the introduction of the ordinance. So this is all available. It's in the staff report. So basically, it's about $1,000 per month per council member. So over the course of the year, it's about $55,000. It's not immediate. It goes into effect after the election cycle. So the effective date will be December 16 of 2026. And so that'll be the effective date. And the mayor's correct, the calculation is based on provisions of the government code, that basically because there had not been an increase in the salary since 2016, there had been 9 years in between. And so it reflects an approximation of consumer price index, but it's a 5% allowable per year for each year since the last increase. So that's where you get to the 45%, but effectively it's about $1,000 per month per council member.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move adoption. Oh, is there a second? Well, first I got to have the motion. Was there a second?
Yes.
Okay. Title the ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside, amending Section 2.1.70 of the Oceanside City Code to adjust the salary for the mayor and members of the City Council in accordance with the provisions of Sections 36516 and 36516.5 of the California Government Code.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. General council member comments, since it's early. Councilmember Robinson.
I'll keep it really short, really fast. So just a reminder to my colleagues, I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go to the Cal Cities Leadership Summit. I will return on Friday. It's in Sacramento. And today I had a really good time at Nichols Elementary, or Leadership School, I think they call it. It was their leadership day, and spent a couple hours there with the kids, and it was a lot of fun. And then yesterday I was at the Tri-City Medical Center, State of Tri-City Medical Center, where they talked about the future collaboration with Sharp. So that's it.
Deputy Mayor.
Quick question for this was the point of information I asked earlier. City Manager, do you have anticipated return date for agenda item 17 on the HART team establishment? Because I just know it's been over a year in the works, and I just have a lot of people asking.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and council members, at this point, we anticipate bringing it back in 4 weeks, which would be May 20th.
Thank you. Couple meetings since the last time we got together, and a couple of them had some really big things, so I'm just going to update my council colleagues on them. The NCTD meeting we had last week had a couple of big items. One was NCTD submitting their separated crossings, the grade separated crossings list. We are currently number 3 on the list at grade separating El Camino Real, the crossing there with the train. I have asked staff to engage. I've asked if staff could engage with NCTD, which is why I'm bringing it up now. Vista has engaged with NCTD to the effect that they're about to finish an MOU. And the MOU allows NCTD to go seek out funding for these possible grade separations. Right now, they are seeking 2 grade separations. Over the last 3 years, they've partnered with the county to try and get money for a grade separation in county land and have failed. I think that we have crossings that would score better, so I'm hoping that staff can find a way to partner with NCTD on this, and it would allow us, again, to be seeking out these major federal grant funding opportunities. The second piece is the fare change. So for the first time in many, many years, a fare change study was done on the fares that are currently charged for different modes of transportation through NCTD and MTS. Now, they asked our opinion of it, essentially, but we are not the ones that vote on whether or not they change the fares on the buses. It is actually a SANDAG committee, the transportation committee at SANDAG. So while we got to weigh in, one thing that we added to the recommendation was to, if we're going to be raising these fees on the folks who need and rely on this to get to work, the folks that are most vulnerable, then we should have an understanding of what we can do for a low income fare. And so we've asked SANDAG to look at that. as NCT, as a group. And then the fare change itself is a multi-year change, so it's a phased-in approach. And the Transportation Committee will be doing a hearing on that soon. If you have any questions, I'm happy to talk with anyone about that one. The second one was the Harbor and Beaches Advisory Committee, which happened earlier this week. And there was one of the things that had been brought up at our council meeting prior was the water testing and concerns about boats pumping out. And just to update the council, the harbor has determined that they'll do 6 months of intense testing to make sure it's clear. They did perform a test already and passed the required cleanliness of the water. We are a certified clean harbor, marina. And then the testing will follow every quarter for a period of time, and then it will move back to twice a year testing. And that is prior to the Ironman, and then 6 months after that, so it'll be a biannual test. There was also brought up that there are proposed changes to Lot 12, which is currently used for camping. And there was discussions about gating and lighting, and that discussion was happening with Coastal Commission. So I wanted to flag that because I know we've talked about doing changes down there for security and safety, but I don't remember us taking a final position on significant changes. So I'd like it if we had a chance to talk about that too, in case the cart gets in front of the horse on that one. So just raising the flag for my colleagues on that one. And last but not least, Happy Earth Day, my friends. I'm super proud of the work that we've done. I looked out from the balcony this morning and could see solar panels on all of our buildings here, and we're making a ton of progress and have committed to do a lot of work with the Climate Action Plan coming back. The scientific evidence to support human-caused climate change is overwhelming, and if we're going to leave this one and only Earth to the generations that follow us, then we got to take that seriously and act accordingly. And I just really appreciate my colleagues' support on those, both climate saving and money saving opportunities that we have. So happy Earth Day, Oceanside.
Thank you. I do have a few reports here. Number one, I want to report that the San Diego Water Authority this past Thursday entered into or signed an agreement with Eastern. This is on the heels of having signed an agreement with Western. These are municipal districts that are within the Los Angeles Metropolitan Water District. So yes, there are no more fights between San Diego Water Authority and the Los Angeles Met. That's really, really great news. The Eastern Delivery Agreement, key terms benefits, it's 10,000 acre feet per year for 21 years to 2047. It's $19 million upfront payment for 30,000 acre feet of deferred deliveries. Ability to increase contract amount at later points, negotiated extension post 2047, and pretty much benefits include present value revenue of $13.5 million per year, $74 million first 5 years, with net present value of over $330 million. Bottom line is, the San Diego Water Authority has, over time, starting with the drought, have made a lot of plans to address the drought and in future years. So there were several projects that were initiated in partnership with different cities and different water districts, including a storage facility, water storage, and of course, we're doing pure water. And San Diego, City of San Diego is close to completing half the city, which is something that they may end up just doing half versus the entire city. And East County is doing their pure water. So what has happened is when you go from drought what has happened is they've had excess water. And because of that, and especially the highest cost of the water is the project in Carlsbad, the desal. That is the highest cost. So bottom line is, finally, they were able to, with this new CEO, able to have these agreements, meeting for a while with members of the LA Metropolitan Water District. And these two sales for Eastern and Western is pretty much the beginning. It looks like they may be looking at elsewhere as well. But the LA area is also looking at doing some pure water projects. And there have been problems with the Colorado River, as we know, as well as the Delta. So what I want to say is that I believe that this is going to help, and I think that this is what the goal is, to help stabilize rates, because that's really why we've been seeing the high rates for water. And the hope is that the plan is to stabilize rates for the Water Authority and to have the rates actually match the consumer price index rate rise. So nothing more than that. So that is the report from San Diego Water Authority. Number two, Arbor Day. City of Oceanside had Arbor Day this past Saturday. We planted, I should say, I helped hold a tree up and patted down the basin to get the tree out of the what is it called? The bucket. Yeah. But pretty much it was 12 to 15 trees. I know that a couple accidentally, the staff had put dug the holes the night before, and 2 avocado trees ended up being in two of the, one each of the holes that were dug. So we can't have fruit falling on, pedestrians, so they're going to have to go out. But we have a new arborist. What is his name? I'm sorry. We have a new arborist, really great guy. He basically selected trees that were drought tolerant and yet with roots that will not harm the sidewalks, and will be having, what was it? Was it pink flowers? Pink trumpet flowers. This, what we did Saturday is a very visual commitment to the downtown that, yes, we are planting trees. We've heard the public loud and clear. We need to have trees, especially in the downtown, because we're moving towards walkable community. We need to have the shades. And for some reason, Joan Bachman wasn't able to be there. I talked to her today, and I guess she had some other things going on. I think she had her walk. Oh, it's this weekend. Well, she said she had something that she was doing. Also, and so I want to thank Nathan Mertz and Hamid and Badori, and let's see who else was there. Justin's last Gamble, that's right. And who else was there? Huh? Tree San Diego. And there was also a private partnership with a guitar company. So it was really, really cool. They actually did a little video of it, and we had the help of the kids from La Casita, which is in Crown Heights. These kids are really cool. Of course, they kept being asked the question, if you don't put this in right, whose fault is it? And so it was drilled into them, our fault. So they were paying really close attention to how to plant trees. Number three, the Levitt Foundation had its first concert of 8 on Saturday. It was really, really great. It was at John Landis at 3:30. The second one is going to be, again, this Saturday at John Landis, 3:30. You got to come. There were a lot of folks that showed up. It was great. Again, this is the city won because of the efforts of Mr. Parker, of getting all of us to click in and say, yes, we want this. So the first year it's 8, it's for 3 years. Second and third can be up to 10 concerts. So that's really great. This Saturday, we're having Dia del Niño. This is probably the 24th annual. It's at Joe Balderrama Park. And we are in partnership with this City of Oceanside, the Green Team, the Oceanside Green Team, because it's Earth Day that we're going to be celebrating as well. That starts at 11 to 3. Please come. There'll be a lot of really cool activities. Also on Saturday is the Latino Book and Family Festival. That starts at 10, and it's also at Maricosta here in Oceanside, and it's always a great event. Today we had Parks and Rec honoring our volunteers. We couldn't get all these programs out there without our very, very valuable volunteers. So thank you, Manny Gonzalez, for arranging that. It was nice to see everyone so happy and really get, from all walks of life, but especially our seniors. They really, really do a great job. And that's it for now. Let's see, did I do it? Yep. So our next meeting is May 6th. Matt Urias is our new arborist. Yay. Welcome, Matt. We're so happy that you're here because we get a lot of questions about trees. And boy, we're going to keep you busy. Oh, and by the way, next month at El Corazon, we're going to be having a tree giveaway. 500 to 800 trees. So please come on by. I don't have the date for that, but it's in May. Does anybody know the date? It's on a Saturday. Okay, this meeting is adjourned to May 6th, 3:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.